Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Align Plans. So today is a very special, I don't know why we're yelling. Today is a very special video because we're going to be taking a moment to recap 2023 and we're going to be looking at some planner trends that are going to be coming in hot for the planner year 2024. So if you're wondering and you're brand new to planning and you wanted to see what is staying, what is going, what is here to really come in for the new year, then this video is going to be for you. So if we have never met before, my name is Meshi and I'm the person behind Align Plans. Thank you so much for coming by first and foremost. If you love planning, if you love stationery, if you love fountain pens, if you love all the things, you should definitely consider subscribing if you haven't yet already. Because it's fun here, but the idea behind this channel is for us to kind of be a little bit more intentional about what we use, how we use them, and just using what we actually have instead of getting into over-consumerism. So let's get started on what are the trends for 2024. Now, first and foremost, I wanted to kind of talk about what are some of the trends that are sort of taken over for the year 2023. And basically, like the big thing that I kind of think is staying is exactly what I just said in this intro, is that level of awareness that is just starting to take over within the planner community, where we are no longer being busy hyping up certain products or certain brands and kind of going like through the bender just to be able to buy the things, mainly because it's that brand that releases it. I think that we're really starting to examine our choices. I definitely think that what is absolutely here to stay is just more awareness and asking more critical questions about what are our actual planner and productivity needs. And what is actually going, in my opinion, for 2023 is this level of overconsumption where we're buying it because it happens to be on sale, because it happens to be on Black Friday, or it happens to be available at that given time in that color that you really wanted. I think that we're really starting to examine how we have been consuming up to this point, and we're really starting to challenge, is that really still suitable for us? Because for the most part, I don't know about you, but I've seen so many de-stash videos where we're doing like a desk tour, and then there's just like an overconsumption of notebooks, overconsumption of pens, of stationery items, and most of them don't actually get utilized, or they don't really receive the attention and the love that they really deserve. And so I think that that sense of disappointment is going to be dissipating moving into 2024. Now let's talk about what's next. So I think what is here to stay and what has kind of come in for the year 2023 is the usage of commonplace books. And I think that that's definitely here to stay. When we're looking at different booklets and we're looking at utilizing basic booklets and basic systems in a really strategic and functional way, I think that we're really becoming more aware of how to utilize space more optimally. We're really getting more drawn to the bare bone basics and then adding the decor as we need versus letting the decor kind of take over each spread, and that's sort of what's dominating. I think that the days where, you know, the trendy planners or the certain influencers that are releasing the planners for a specific reason, like this one is on astrology, this one is on, like your astro health, or this one is just on gratitude. I think that those are the type of planners that where most of us are finding that we bought it because it looked good and we were drawn to that niche. But I think that those are the planners that are sort of going to take a little bit of a backseat, in my opinion, because what ends up actually working is just something a lot simpler, and it's a lot more proven, and it's a lot more standing the test of time. What's next? I think what's here to stay, so this one is going to be like a double-edged sword, because what's here to stay and what's here to go are the exact same thing. But first of all, I should just add a tiny little disclaimer before we go any further in this video. These are just my opinions, obviously. Don't let this to be the defining video where you not only get triggered by, you know, what are the trends, or if you have fallen victim to some of these trends that are really out the window and you feel like you somehow are doing it wrong. You are 100% not doing it wrong. These are just my observations, just based on my own planning style, which will be 100% different than yours. However, if you are a beginner, I think that this would be something that can potentially save you some money. So I just wanted to give you that disclaimer, because at the end of the day, it's just paper and, you know, it's not that serious. So I think what's here to stay is subscriptions. However, I think what's here to go is also forms of subscription services. Why do I say that? Well, I think that with subscriptions, it's such a tricky thing because it's like this continuous flow of products that we're receiving for a set amount of price, right? But I also think that a lot of us out there are really, really starting to examine if that specific subscription service is still worth the investment that we're putting in each month. And we're 100% going to be challenged a lot of the subscription services within the planning and the journaling community that are no longer feel like it's a great value. If it just feels like we're accumulating for the sake of accumulating, if we are having the pretty thing because it's trendy. So we're really, as you can tell, like just by like even just my third point, we're really stepping away from kind of keeping up with the Joneses type of appeal. Because at the end of the day, and I can attest to this because halfway through the year, I did actually stop my subscription with Cloth and Paper. But I can't tell you how many of you have commented on most of those videos that I have made about Cloth and Paper that said, well, you know what? Most of them were actually not suitable for me. So we are already starting to see this trend when we're challenging the items that we're receiving if it's still hitting the mark. And it's so hard because at the time of the release or when you see the sneak peek, it does feel like it's going to be useful and it's going to be user friendly and it's going to be something that we will actually utilize. And I don't want to really single out Cloth and Paper. That's just one of the subscriptions that are being really challenged right now. When we're really asking ourselves, is this still worth the investment? Am I actually utilizing it for what it was intended for, or am I moving more into accumulation? And I'm 100% guilty of this because I have a lot of inserts, especially A5 inserts and A5 accessories that are like no longer useful to me because I'm no longer using an A5 size ring band planner. So therefore, all of those inserts, even if I was still within that planner system, it still wouldn't be useful because I just don't utilize those inserts for that purpose in that planner. Does that make sense? So if I'm using a planner that is strictly for work, I'm probably not going to need like a mindfulness and a journal and a reflection insert. So it's just something to kind of keep in mind that you're going to probably start challenging, is this still right for me? Does this still work for me? Or am I just buying it because everyone else that I know buys it and I just don't want to really miss out? So I think that sense of fear of FOMO is definitely going to start wear itself off a lot more moving into the next year. Let's talk about the use of one booklet solutions. I definitely have seen an uprise within the planner community of more and more and more people using more one booklet solutions versus using a ring bound planner and then a booklet and then a notebook and then another like ring bound booklet and all of that. So I think that we're starting to more like shrink down our systems and make them a lot more functional, and a one booklet system happens to be like at the forefront of that. I think that we're going to see a lot more companies coming up with one booklet systems where now we can start examining not only paper quality, but how the spine lays, how is the writing experience and filling out those types of planners with different sizes. And if you're a left-hander or if you're a right-hander, I think that just that one element alone changes the entire planning experience, in my opinion anyway, because I can attest to you time and time again that some of the pens that most of you are hyping up through the roof are actually not really working for me simply because of the angle that I'm using the pen. And then some of the pens that most of you hate are totally amazing for me. So it just is one of those things when it comes to pens, but then the planner itself and how it lays and just the entire experience of using that planner definitely shifts and changes based on the spine of that one booklet system. What is here to stay? Improving our current systems. I think that a lot of us are really starting to examine and really challenge how is that the planner system that we have put into place. I think that a lot of us, like midway through the year or a quarter way through the year, we really start examining, based on the system that I have bought, is this still working for me? And like, I applaud so many of you for this, because I think it's so important to kind of log back and see, okay, is my investment actually working off? Is this really still working for me? Or am I naturally shifting to utilizing it for a totally different purpose that I didn't even realize that I needed, but here we are having this conversation, right? So I think that a lot of that more mindful way of approaching our systems is definitely here to stay. And I'm 100% here for it. And I think that we're going to be starting to shift more away from having multiple planner systems, especially if we haven't given it a job. I think that we're going to start seeing a lot more of us, instead of just seeing, well, it's memory keeping, or it's just, you know, like a junk journal, or like, we're no longer going to be super vague about the functionality and the way that we're utilizing certain planners, not journals, but planners. And I think that we're going to see a lot less hippity hopping between planner systems because of that, because we're going to be a lot more clear about what are our goals, how do we, like, what type of tools do we need in order for us to achieve those goals, and then therefore the planners and the journals are 100% a huge player within that whole thing for it to kind of come to fruition. Next up, I think that we're moving a lot more away from decor, or decor that is very like template, like structured. So I think that the obsession, and I'm happy to say this, honestly, I cannot tell you how happy this makes me. I think that we're moving away from like the obsession of the Etsy shop kits. I don't think that, first of all, I don't think that it was for all of us anyways, but I think that those of us that were super obsessed with it, first of all, I think that we kind of realized along the way that it's not necessary. Like and I mean, I know that those of you that really love kits, it's no hate to you. If you still love it, if that's the way that you plan and that's sort of how it makes sense for you in your head, like, by all means, continue to do that. But I see a lot more creators that are starting to shift a little bit more away from that, start shifting more towards more journaling style, more decor that is less but better, really reflecting your personality, and not only reflecting your own unique style, but it really starting to reflect where we are within the year, what season you're writing in right now, which is a lot more important, in my opinion, than is that sticker cute. I'm just saying. Next up, I think these last 2 points are like so close to my heart that it just really hits home for me. And I hope that it will hit home for you too. I think that this just kind of piggybacking on the idea of less consumerism, I think that we're going to start to see, and I've already started to see little specks of hints of hope within that. And I hope that this, fingers crossed, I hope that this will take off. This is more of a hope than a prediction that there's going to be a lot more community swaps. There's going to be a lot more of that sense of community connection that most of us crave within the planner community, where it no longer becomes about, hey, did you buy that sticker? Hey, like, what sticker are you using? What pen are you using? What ink are you using? It becomes, each video and each content and each thing that we get exposed to becomes less about what did you buy and should I buy it? And it's going to shift more towards what is something that you think that you're no longer needing, and then you can kind of shift that energy to someone who could really use it because it matches their style. And like I said, I've started to see like small little, and this could come in small little group get-togethers or hangouts that get kind of scheduled throughout, like, across the country. I think that this can come as, you know, digitally connecting with other creators when we're doing swaps of ink, swaps of stationery, swaps of journaling supplies, you name it. I think that what I would love to see is sort of like the community actually becomes a community rather than each individual just sharing a same shared passion. And I think that there's a really fundamental difference between the two, because one just says, hey, you like the same thing that I like it, but I'm gonna have my own experience and you will have your own experience. And shift towards, hey, I have like a whole stack of stuff that I'm no longer really using, but I think it would really hit home for you. I think that it would really suit you significantly more than it would suit me. And you can kind of review your stash and just get to know me and see what works for me and kind of send it my way. And I think that having that sense of connection, it not only builds trust, but it builds friendships. Last but not least, before I choke here, last but not least, I think that we're going to see a lot less shame and guilt attached to how we plan. Especially like over the years as I was watching creators just relating to not only, you know, buying the thing, buying the pens, buying the stationery, buying a new planner, switching systems halfway through the year, not filling out certain pages, really struggling with making certain spreads work for them. There's always a sense of shame or guilt associated with it. There's always a sense of, I'm sorry, it's not working for me. I know you guys want me to love this, but I just don't. I think that we're really going to move into this idea that just own what you love. If you love artistic spreads, most of the stickers will not work for you anyway, right? Not everybody needs to run an Etsy shop. Not everybody needs to run a stationery shop in order for you to enjoy this hobby. But really honing in and really getting grounded in what works for you and really enjoying that process, right? If you love one ink and that's all you use and you update your planner and you have a really pleasant and amazing experience with it every single time that you use it, and then you fall off the bandwagon because you got sick, it's okay. It's part of the experience in and of itself. It's part of that journey of you're allowing these systems, these journals, these planners to kind of come along for the ride. You're not here to kind of cater to the planner systems. The planner systems really need to cater to you, to shape to your lifestyle, to make sure that it fits in whatever's going on with you. And I think that having that level of awareness makes us not only more confident in our choices, but more unapologetic about just what we choose and then why we choose them, and just not really conforming to the community because it's something is being hyped up. And for that, I'm so happy for it, because honestly, like, I've been wanting to have that level of awareness shift for a really long time. And the fact that I'm kind of seeing it, I think that we're going to see a lot more of that in 2024. I don't think that everybody will move into that direction because it won't make sense, but I do see that the majority of us are already kind of open to it, because we see the upside of this, where we are hippity hopping between systems, or we're trying to make something work for us that really isn't. And I think we're ready to move away from that. So kudos to all of us. This is all I wanted to share with you guys. First of all, it's been so long since I've done an on-camera video like this, so way to go. But let me know, I would love to hear at least a few of your predictions for 2024. Let me know in the comment section below. I will also add timestamps for each section of this video so that you can just hop onto the one that is most suitable for you. But I would absolutely love to hear from you. Please let me know in the comment section below, what are some of your predictions that you're thinking is going to come in or here to stay for 2024 within the planner community. This is all I have for you. Thank you so much for watching, you guys, and I appreciate your support so much. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, you can subscribe, you can do all of the things. But more importantly, just the fact that you hung out with me here today and you shared your time and your space, I so appreciate you. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and just keep planning, keep journaling, keep doing all of the things. And I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye.